No, let me switch gears and talk about the last election that happened, both presidential and governorship election. As a political scientist yourself, what would be your assessment of this last election?
Very, very, how do I put it? One election that divided Nigeria, and everybody is blaming INEC. What will I say? Impression, I think the INEC did well, to the best of their ability. The INEC chairman is not everywhere. Most people conducting the election are people like us, people from the universities and so on, and from other areas who go to conduct. But the politicians are not easy to deal with. So also the electorates. Let's talk about vote buying. The last election, I set out asking most of my ex-students in the various polling units to check out what is happening there for purposes, academic purposes. Will you believe in that in some places, some voters refuse to vote except someone buys their vote? They refuse to. They are looking for someone to sell their votes for anything. Most times we blame the politicians, but what of the voters themselves, the people themselves?
The citizens, yes.
The citizens. And then in terms of, I think the election was, to the best of my knowledge, free and fair. I voted at Tobiako polling unit. We queued up. People were taking their time. We all voted. Results were called. But I think the controversial area is whether INEC was able to upload results or not upload results. INEC must have their reasons. That day, I know I was monitoring the election from all over with my friends who were in monitoring teams. And some results were being posted on our faculty platform. And when I sent it to her, I said, this is not from INEC. So where were they getting them from? I think there was a lot of tampering. She told me at that point that the server was down for some reasons. Probably Nigeria, you know us, some people may have attempted to hack in, and INEC had to do the needful to pull it down. Yakub has been in INEC even when Jeka was there. And I know most of the problems we had while running election is the one we report to. And he does the needful. So, he was seated in the situation room with journalists, and so how could he have stayed there to change results in various polling units to favor a particular candidate? I don't think that's what happened. But in Nigeria, once you've made up your mind, this person is popular, he should have won, or he should win, then you just seal up any other argument about whether the other person would have won or not. The P2B supporters believed he won. Atiku supporters believed he won. Tinubu supporters believed he won. So only INEC can tell you who won from the result they presented. And that's the and the way the emotions attached to it have even affected the judiciary.
Yes.
The emotions, people don't believe judges anymore, even when they have not done anything. When a friend reached out to me over the eyes on the judiciary thing, I told him my father is a lawyer, and I know that in the days of his friends in the bench, that thing could have fetched them contempt of court. Because that's a form of pressure on the judiciary. What do you mean by all eyes on the judiciary? If we want to get things right, let everybody start changing himself. Do right what you're doing wrong. Many of us are doing things wrong, even in the university where we are. And we're expecting some form of, one bishop said it, you aid your child from malpractice, and yet you're expecting INEC to be perfect.
Yeah, Doesn't work.
It's all the same thing. These are people from the same society. The judges are made from people who they are raised the way you are raised, who is also doing wrong in your own area. Leave them to do the things, as they understood it. Don't mount unnecessary pressures. Only INEC can determine who won from the results they presented. So the idea of, sending threats and doing all kinds of caricature with the INEC chairman, the thing pained me to the bone marrow. Because there's no way he could sit on that there and was manipulating. How could that be? When every party has an agent, you finish, you take away your own result. In fact, before they even announce, you already know your standing. And sometimes as a collator, there's not much, even if you notice something happened in the result, as a collator, which I've worked as, there's nothing you can do. People is at the polling unit, it all happens. Except there's obvious cases that allows you to cancel. If none, you can only add up what is on the paper and announce. And then tell the parties that lost, if you are not satisfied, go to what? To court to challenge it with what you have. That's why every party that contests the election must have a genuine party agent at the polling unit. That is the power, the seat of power in any election, polling unit. But some of them don't take the polling unit seriously. At the polling unit, they finish, they give you your own copy of the result. So you go to your own situation room and know your standing. I was expecting the litigants, not asking INEC to give them results. You should have results. That is the truth of the matter. Because you came with you have an agent who should give you a copy of what he collected. So you are summing up as INEC is summing up. So if INEC brought something, he said, but this is what we got. The discrepancy will be obvious. But you now ask the person you said I give you the win to now give you the result with which you could challenge what he announced. I don't know how that works.
It makes no sense.
As a political science, it doesn't make sense to me. I want to be removed from it all, remove all emotions and look at things objectively as an analyst can. It's the same INEC, you are asking for a result which it has already announced and you say you don't believe it. You're now asking him to give you the same result with which to go to court to challenge what he announced. Does it make sense? It doesn't. So the litigants should have their party agents collect, but most of them didn't. I think that's where their problem started.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised you're speaking this way because I've always admired your objectivity. Because unlike obedience, who are very emotional,
you don't win an election with emotion.
I always say that to them. In politics, emotions don't count at all. You cannot be emotional with politics. You have to look at it. It
doesn't bring votes either.
It doesn't. It's all about strategy. It's all about objectivity. Okay, like you said, the polling units, that's the critical aspect.
That's the critical
aspect. At that local ward level, that polling unit. And like you said, how can you tell INEC to give you a result? Your polling agent should know. And that's the issue with LP is that because it's not a new party, it's been there, but as new as per to gain the kind of amount of following they got, they didn't have those agents all over the 774 local governments. PDP has it, APC has it, and that's the point of structure. That's what structure.
My information is that LP had no agent in 62% of the polling units. If that information is correct, then what were they expecting?
Wow.
That's the information I got. That LP lacked agent in 62%.
Wow.
In fact, when I got that information, I communicated to a friend on WhatsApp. I said, you are an emotional LP supporter. Why don't you make yourself an agent in one of these polling units? And he said, you want to kill me. And we ended that discussion. But the point is, it is at the polling unit that things happen.
Yes.
I've been part of the election process when Jega was there. And I know it is at the polling unit. As a collator, you have very little to add. You just sum up what was given to you. And then the next level, sum up again. The next level, sum up. That's all. But the main thing is at the polling unit. They are the one that accredit, they are the one that will stamp, they are the one that counts the vote. So if you don't get it right there, as a party, you must ensure you have an agent looking out for you at the polling station. That's the first port of call. You miss it there, you miss it everywhere.
Yeah. But why don't they get it though? Because when you try to explain to obedience, they don't get it.
The politicians, forget those people may not know. Everything is the politicians themselves know.
Yeah, but yes, the politicians know, and that's the whole irony of this. The guy you're fighting for, P2B, knows these things. He's not ignorant.
Have you ever
he's not
seen
naive.
Comment? He's enjoying the popularity.
But
if he
so
comments,
wrong.
they may start even attacking him.
Yeah, but that's so wrong because your followers should know the truth. At the polling unit, that's where it matters. So all those guys tweeting and all those guys bullying online, why not, like you said, volunteer yourself, go to your polling unit and be the LP agent? But like you said,
You'd be surprised that some of them didn't even vote. They are just
the turnout
media.
was the lowest turnout.
I used to talk to students. I said, do you listen to Obama sometimes tell his supporters, don't boo, vote?
Exactly.
Booing does not bring results. What brings results is what? Voting.
Yes.
Go and vote. Don't boo, vote. But you think that by calling people names, you are going to win an election? Means nothing.
Exactly.
It means nothing. And then the politicians should also learn to map their strategy. That you're popular in one place does not mean you'll be popular all over the place. That's the truth of the matter. You concentrate your effort at campaigns where you think your votes will come from.
Yes.
That's how sensible politicians do it. Someone told me about that in 2015 at the National Assembly where I was doing my research. And the person mapped out and said, if this election is conducted today, Buhari will carry it. I said, how? He just say, this place is Buhari's stronghold. This place is Buhari's stronghold. This place is Buhari. This place will share it. He said, who wins? I said, if it happens like that, Buhari wins. And that's exactly how it happened.
Code strategy.
And in that case, they do their campaign on their strongholds and collect the votes there. Knowing that even if they sleep here and die here, they will not get much.
Yeah.
That's the way, they now do a kind of strategic
Of course, that's what it should be.
mapping of the votes and the area where it will come from.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same strategy that the Tinubu campaign used.
Of course.
Even in terms of the Muslim ticket.
Yes.
Even though I have no problem with any religion, even if you pack everybody and put in one, I have no problem because it does not mean anything. If we all of us are children of God, it does not matter which one you profess. But the point is that he has made up his mind. If PDP presents a Muslim ticket, do I stand a big chance with a Christian deputy? Knowing that the North does not consider the Southwest Muslims as strong as the Northern Muslims, with a Christian wife for that matter. So he strategically chose a Muslim partner, not to, belittle Christians, but to win his votes. So they will have confidence in him and vote for him. Detached, you will see that that's what he did.
You're right. 100%.
That's what
agree.
he did.
I agree. Yeah.
But people used it, Muslim, as if it means so much. Governance in Nigeria, I hope that Tinubu may, if he wins his, should do something about bringing power back to the states and the local governments.
Yes.
Because that is the seat of, that will drive development.
Yes.
Not Abuja, everybody looking up at Abuja is too far.
Exactly.
The man On the real seat is the governor, and then the local government councillors and chairmen.
Yes.
Those are the ones that will drive development. More money should be sent to the states and to the local government. The center should just be an enabler.
Yes.
And that's why people like me, if we really want to douse ethnicity, the ethnic embers in Nigeria, we must start thinking of a constitutional type of democracy. The collegial executive, as the Swiss will call it. Let each, today we'll call it geographical zones or something. Bring one person. They form a collegial executive. Chairman rotates. So make it a 6-year tenure. Every year, another one geographical zone assumes chairman of the executive. So no longer Igbos are being marginalized. Southwesterners are being everybody is now there.
Yes.
Whoever you give us, we take. So Southeast, elect somebody to go to the executive office. Southwest, give us somebody. Northeast, give us somebody, and so on. Then form a collegial executive and give them mutual veto. So they must agree, come on consensus before any policy. So without issue of Igbos and Yorubas are being today, Northerners are being marginalized. Of course, in Nigeria, you know that once you start shouting you're marginalized, you get more.
Exactly. I do agree with him. For me, when it comes to Nigeria, on the macro level, I've signed out. I think, like you rightly said, when you look at it at that bigger level, it's so depressing. It's not, you can't solve Nigeria at that macro level. The best way to solve Nigeria is look at the 36 states of Nigeria. At that local level, your councillors, your state house of assembly members, your governors.
More power should go.
Exactly. And you're right in the sense that if Tinubu does what he does, and I think the first set of things he did was electricity has been put back to the states. So state governments now can determine how, I think prisons was done under Buhari as well, but other things. So you're right. If the more power should flow down, the bottom up is the best way to solve Nigeria, not top down. So I do agree.
If you look at it in the First Republic, there was more power. That's why Ahmadu Bello refused to go to the center and send Balewa, because the regions were the seat of power. But with the military rule and the centralization that came with it, everything is now Abuja. To the point where now someone who voted in Abuja is more superior than me that voted in Awka. It does not make sense. That's what they're trying to say. If you voted in Abuja, your vote counts more than the person who voted somewhere else. So you must win Abuja to become... It does not... The most stupid thing I've ever heard, actually. So I said, okay, if a governor wins all the local government, didn't win Awka town, he cannot be governor. Because transfer it to something else. That's what it means.
It makes no sense.
It does not make sense. Say the constitution was just being overly generous and said, okay, if Abuja, you want Abuja, and that is what will enable you crossover. Oh yeah, you can also win Abuja. And also FCT. Otherwise, FCT is merely a territory. It's not a state. But the generosity of the constitution enabled it to be added. If that you've won everything, just one state will okay, let's add FCT for you. And now people are saying you must win FCT. It does not make sense. Because you're now giving votes in FCT added weight more than votes states anywhere else. And I think the lawyers know, but you gamble. Sometimes in law, you gamble if that will enable you.
Yeah, because of course,
get what you want.
I must believe they must know the truth.
They do. I think they do. Onyechikpazu knows. If nobody knows, I know Onyechikpazu knows. But this is a case you want to win. So whatever works. My sister will say the best medicine is the one that works. So in law also, the best argument is the one that sails you through. So
I've been talking about these tribunal judgments. Do you think the constitution should have been a bit more clearer? Because, like you rightly said, it was being a bit more generous. But do you think they would have worded
that's where the judiciary comes in? There's no perfect constitution anywhere. Even in the United States, that's where the judiciary comes in to interpret. That's what we call judicial review. they continue to review the intentions of the constitution makers. Okay? So it becomes judicial precedents and law, judicial law, kind of. That's the work of the judiciary, to now interpret the constitution in a way that it becomes understandable to the common person. And that's where their work comes in. It has always been part of law anywhere in the world. There's no perfect constitution anywhere. United States Constitution has not been going through several amendments. Most of the amendments has come through judicial review.
Yeah.
Okay? And when they say the judiciary is partisan, it's even in the US that you even find more partisan, because you know how a judge will think depending on who appoints him.
Exactly, yeah. Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
But we have so degraded to the point where we make mockery of the judiciary, and that is very sad. Yesterday, someone was reviewing their salary in a TVC journalist hangout, and I'm shocked to know that they don't earn much. Insulated from society, because that's the way they are. You insulate them from society to make sure they are not tainted. But you give them peanuts as salary, and you want them to be above board, you're not serious. You're not serious. No judge should earn less than 1 million a month. If these senators and the House of Reps members are earning more than that, no judge, not even a magistrate. Because half of the time, their eyes are steeped in books, reading. They have no social life. We must consider that. They don't attend weddings and things the way we do. So they don't mix with people and get tainted. They're so insulated from society. And then you give them peanuts. And you do something for them, or you think you're doing something big wonder. You gave them a car. So we should, anywhere you keep your thing, it's the way you respect it is the way other people will respect.
Of course.
We have so meddled them down, spoke so lowly about them, and the way we throw their names all over the place, put pictures on social media for people to make caricatures of. For goodness sake, that is so, so wrong. It is so, so wrong. Even if the judgment does not suit you, does not qualify for you to make a caricature of people in the bench like that. Probably because I'm from a Lego family.
No,
I have my emotions maybe biased, but then the way I was brought up, it is wrong.
No, I do agree.
Those that posted those, I told them, early days of Oputa JC, them, you do that, you go to jail. They will correct you the right way. In every aspect of our society, we find corrupt people, not only judiciary.